Welcome to the September issue of Behind the Headlines for Japan. So this first item, somewhat surprising. Corporate renewable purchases are infant stage, I'll call it, in Japan. But a survey we did showed that roughly 30% of the large corporates plan to do a PPA or VPPA. If that comes true in the next 3 or 4 years, maybe, there's not enough renewables to feed that. So this next item, Power Trading Week, I invite anybody that's watching this, if you want to come to Tokyo for that week of October, there's a lot of events for internationals, for trading. English is good that week. Futures Market, Veneer, who started all this, and various other sponsor events, including us. So if you want to come, let me know. We'll get you into some of these things and some of these parties. So we recently did the battery economics. The time shift from early afternoon when power is cheap to late afternoon or evening when it rebounds, very, very exciting for Japan. So I think you're going to see this boom in batteries on the grid. So speaking of future events in Japan, if you go back, Fukushima, many demonstrations anti-nuke. In the last couple of years, the prime minister has been put them back on. Power prices are killing us. Now you have a number of Japan investors investing many millions of dollars into these micro or mini nukes in hopes that someday they build them in Japan. So LNG stocks are the lowest they've been in quite some time. So let's see if they stock up come winter, because normally they're not this low coming into October. So of course, Fukushima had to let the water out. Nobody was particularly happy about it. The Chinese said, okay, no more seafood. So when I go to Japan in a couple of weeks for trading week, I expect sushi will be really cheap. Well, we can hope anyway. So EEX, I'm glad to see, launched a few years ago. It's exceeding expectations. Their volume keeps growing dramatically. So that's good to see, and it's very helpful for the market. Not to be left out, JPX, who of course owns Tocom, who's not as big as EEX, is launching next month, actually, the carbon market. So that'll be interesting to track and watch. Probably like most markets, start slow and give it a couple of years and be a force. So this next, I'm not sure why it keeps happening, but every year or a couple of times a year, somebody gets nailed for bribery. This time it was a top government official meddling in the offshore bidding. It's a little curious because the only bids that have been won so far were Mitsubishi, which is, of course, maybe the biggest company in Japan. I'm not sure. Odd as usual. In late-breaking fake news, we've pulled off the trade of the century. Shohei Ohtani is coming to Skipping Stone for a player to be named later. And if you believe that, thanks for watching.